up to this date, how many albums has Atmosphere put out?
We are saying this is our 7th album.
So the new one is the 7th.
It's not.
I figured that.
I don't know how many albums we have.
Right.
You know, and it also depends on what do you consider an album. You know what I mean? And so it's like by my count, there's probably more like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be funny, I'm just going to say 7 from now on. Whenever we put out a new record, I'm going to be like, it's our 7th album.
Lucky number 7.
From here on out.
You got the tattoo too, the 7, you know.
Oh, yeah. I got this tattoo this morning.
And it looks fresh.
To symbolize
it looks brand
the
new.
7th album. Look at this is the 7th album, fam. Like
It's lit. Yeah. We're going to call this one Fishing Blues.
Fishing Blues.
Why? What's the premise?
Well, you know, fishing, you know, when you say fishing, it brings up, it conjures things. You know, people fish for, they fish for recreation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they fish to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Some people fish for food because they have to. Some people fish because it's a business. They got to
Mm-hmm.
sell the fish. But technically, no matter what you're doing, you're searching for something. You're either trying to get that money, or you're trying to get some food and sustenance, or you're trying to relax and find that vibe and zen out, or whatever it is you know. And so fishing for compliments, fishing for validation, fishing for love, like we're all fishing. And I was like, well, you know, especially when you approach it from like where I would be approaching it from, because I'm not necessarily fishing to pay my rent like I used to be when I was younger. I'm not fishing to pay the child support like when I was struggling.
Yeah.
Life's a little bit better, just a little. You know,
Yeah.
we're not balling out, but
Right.
but what am I fishing for now? And those are the things that I kind of deal with on this record, and break down different songs about basically different searches. You know, trying to acquire that harmony in your life between, you know, the insular and the selfish parts of you, but also blending it with making sure that you're staying active and doing something outside of yourself and trying to make an impact outside of yourself. And you know, when you reach a certain point where maybe, let's say, you can escape the immediate struggle, then you also find yourself in these positions of privilege when you could start worrying about things like the water supply and the environment, and
Right.
and you know, those are struggles too. They're definitely a more privileged struggle because it's not that in your face wake up to the struggle, but when you can start considering other elements outside of your immediate surroundings as struggles as well, that becomes what you're fishing for as well, you know. And so to me, a lot of these songs, as they were coming together, felt like they were fitting into that puzzle, that code. So while we're writing that code, we just happened to be out taking some photos with the homie Dan Monick one day. We were out Lake Nokomis, and there was some canoes there, and one of them had a homemade sticker on the side of it that said Fishing Blues. And when me and Anthony saw that, we were just like, okay, there it is. Take a picture of that, because that's going to be the album. You know what I mean? And that's why we ended up with the photo of me on the cover wearing the Gophers jersey, the football outfit, you know, and then Anthony sitting on the lifeguard.
Yeah.
You know, he's basically a lifeguard, but he's wearing a suit. And I'm standing there, I don't know what, Varsity Blues style, with a football on the lake, and there's a duck, and I'm not really sure what all of that's supposed to imply.
I was going to ask.
But I know when I see it, it looks to me like an album cover. You know what I'm saying? And not only, but like a vintage one. It reminded me of some old school stuff. And also just the title Fishing Blues reminded me of some kind of Minnesota Bob Dylan thing. Yes. So all of it kind of came together for me in that way, you know, as far as visually, and then just what my interpretation of the photo and my interpretation of the title, and it's all this crap. Can I say crap?
You can say crap.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you're killing it right now.
that.
I appreciate you, man. Are any of the joints that you leaked over the last year or so going to be on the project?
No, none of
so
them.
the Kanye West, the Selma Hayeks, the Lonely Rose, none of this is going to be.
None of those are on the record. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great record. No?
I like them. You know what I'm saying? You know, we liked them, but they just didn't. They didn't necessarily fit the mold of the puzzle we were putting together. You know, they were part of the process. They were songs that we came up with as we were coming up with these songs. But you know, sometimes when you finish something, you realize, hey, like, I like this a lot, but it doesn't necessarily fit the movement of what we're doing. You know, here's the real issue. Me and Anthony still make quote unquote albums.
Yeah.
You know, if we were making collections of songs and singles, it'd be a different story, because some of the energy and some of the things that are on those singles would have totally worked as a collection of songs. Yeah. But as an album, when we were looking at the overall theme, especially with where I was coming from with the searching, those particular songs just didn't seem to really fit what we were trying to present as a full album, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm embracing the fact that I'm at an age, I'm old enough to I'm probably going to be stuck making quote unquote albums for the rest of my life. That's the sequencing it and putting these songs together is this piece that you want people to sit down and listen to as one solid piece.
Yes.
You know, I realize the rest of the world doesn't necessarily take their music that way anymore.
No.
But because I always did, I think I'm just going to always be stuck there. You know what I mean?
Cool.
And whatever, you know, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
but it's you know, it's kind of like I try to. It's like we write a book instead of a collection of short stories. You know what I mean? Like someday I would love to figure out how to write a collection of short stories because that's just another code to crack. You know what I mean? That's just another challenge. But as far as this record went, yeah, there's just too much theme, and both of us with where we were with our worlds and our lives and the things that we were going through. Too many of these songs are really close to home for us that we couldn't really figure out how to squeeze the Fireflies joint or the Selma Hayek into it, you know?
Yeah, man. And after hearing what your theme is for the album, those do sound like different records. It sounds like a different project.
Yeah, totally.
Almost like that's an EP, and then here comes but just giving them out.
That's a good idea. Maybe I should take all them singles and put them on like some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of. I wonder what they would feel like if they were combined. You know what I mean? Like, because I believe there were like 7 or 8, and I still got a couple more, you know, in the bag waiting to kind of fire off as well. But also, I don't want to be that dude that's just out for money and just making, hey, here's buy this now,
buy that one, buy this one.
Here.
Give me all your money. Nah, dude. Nah.
Figure it out.
Definitely dope music so far. I'm excited to see this Fishing Blues come to fruition.